Hello world, Cossy here with another Geek movie review, this time for the movie that you guys voted for out of possible two. I did put two up, which was The Smurfs and Super 8, and thankfully by one vote, Super 8 won. Both of these movies were movies I didn't really want to see. Smurfs, for obvious reasons, growing up watching the Smurfs and being a big fan of them, didn't want to see the Hollywood film. I mean, I think this t-shirt kind of says it all. Brainy Smurf says, nerds do it better. You know it's true. And secondly, for Super 8, I think probably out of anger that Abrams made this film rather than getting straight on to Star Trek 2. So yeah, I wasn't really looking forward to watching either of these movies, but you've done it. You made me go and see Super 8, and it is amazing. This is an old school 5-star summer blockbuster. It's absolutely fantastic. I'd still say that Captain America, which I reviewed recently, I'll pop a link up here for those of you who haven't seen it yet, go back and watch that review, is a better movie just because I think it just knits together better, but they're both 5-star movies. This is a fantastic film. What can I say about it? Well, quite a lot. First off, I want to say that very much like Hobo with a Shotgun, another film that I've reviewed this summer, there's that link, go and click out and watch that review if you haven't seen that already. This kind of harks back to the 1980s, but while Hobo with a Shotgun was all about the sort of trashy exploitation films, low budget indie films from places like Troma, this is very much more the classic sort of 1980s kids adolescent movies, especially stuff by Spielberg, who I know was involved in producing this movie with J.J. Abrams. If you haven't seen stuff like Close Encounters of the Third Kind and E.T., then you've probably been living in outer space, ironically, for the last, 30 years. So yeah, it does hark back to that very much. There's a great feel, not so much that they're ripping it off, but that it's the whole filmmaking techniques that were used in those movies, and the feeling that is put across in those movies that Abrams uses so well. He's obviously a massive fan of the films from that era and a fan of Spielberg, and it comes across quite well in this film, Super 8. Now, I'm going to start by talking a little bit about the story. Now, I'm going to just give a little sort of flesh outline of the story because I want you to go and obviously see it. I don't want to spoil anything. So, basically, what it is it's a film about a group of kids, high school kids, who are making a movie to go into like a film festival, an independent film festival. And one of the kids, Joe, has recently lost his mother in an accident in a factory, which is where she worked. His dad is the deputy of the town that they live in, which is called Lillian. It's a fictional town in Ohio. And late one night, while these kids are filming this film that they're making on Super 8 reel for their camera, see where the name of the film comes from, the high school biology teacher drives onto the train track and causes an accident with a US Air Force train, and the accident basically releases something into the local area. Now that's all I'm going to say, because obviously I want you guys to go and see it. There's a lot more to it than that, but yeah, it's a very good framing for the movie, which is equal parts sort of mystery, monster movie, growing up, finding your place in the world, emotional journey, and conspiracy movie. So there's a lot to it. It's got a lot of plot threads that are very well put together. Abrams likes to do that in his projects, as we've seen from stuff he's done in the past. The plot threads are spread out, but kind of all interlinked, and they all have a good resolution at the end. At the end of the film, there's nothing left hanging with these threads that he's sort of wound throughout the movie. So that was good. I was glad to see that. I wasn't sure how he would sort of work that. I know this is one of the first films that he's written and directed. So yeah, it's a job's a good one. Basically, J.J. Abrams was a big fan of it. The film itself is well paced. It's slow build, then there's a lot of information comes out in the middle, and then there's a fantastic ending, which is quite action-packed as well. It's also quite emotional. There's things obviously about the character Joe, about his mum dying. There's a love story element that he has with another character called Alice. There's genuine emotion. I mean, at one point I was quite choked towards the end at some of the things that were happening, quite poignant moments. So yeah, it's really good. It does tug on the heartstrings as well as give you all the intrigue and the action that you would expect from J.J. Abrams. Casting and acting. Now, first off, the casting and the acting in this film is great. Every single actor is going out all guns. It's obviously got a good script and a good director, but the acting is brilliant. Every character's believable. They come to life, and special mention, obviously, for the adult side to Noah Emmerich, who plays like the bad guy, Colonel Nellick. He was great. Perfect sort of villain that you have in these kind of movies. For those of you who've seen the stuff from the 80s, yeah, he did really well at invoking that sort of 80s kids monster movie villain type character. Yeah, I was impressed by that. The thing is, there's not a single bad performance. Every actor in this is fantastic, but the kids really do steal the show. The kids are amazing. They are great little actors. Special mention to the two, I think, are the two best actors in this movie. That's Joel Courtney, who plays the main character of Joe, and Elle Fanning, who is Dakota Fanning's younger sister, who not only is a fantastic actress, but is a better actress than Dakota Fanning. I'm just going to say that's my opinion. This girl's 13 years old. She outacts her sister. She's fantastic, and those two, Joel and Elle, are going to be stars in the future. You're going to watch this space, because these two kids, they can act and they're fantastic, and they're going to be big stars. Overall, the kids are actually better than the adults. It gives the feel of the movie a sort of genuine, affectionate view of early adolescence because of that, which is great. That's the kind of feeling you used to get from these type of movies in the 80s. I remember growing up as a kid watching these things on TV and on VHS. Won't go back to that VHS conversation. You guys who don't know what it is, it means videotape. And yeah, it always gave a sort of affectionate view of childhood, of adolescence, and you get that feeling again from this movie, which is great. CGI is the next thing I'm going to talk about. Now, obviously, I said this is part monster movie. Something escapes from that train. The monster movie element. This film was shot on a complete budget of $50 million US, which is a quarter of the budget of the Green Lantern movie, a movie that I reviewed earlier this year. Link just there for those of you who haven't seen it. Click out, go and watch it. And yet the CGI in Green Lantern was terrible, and the CGI in this movie is absolutely fantastic. I'd say it was like 10 times better, and it was shot on a quarter of the budget. Now, the alien, the monster that you see in this film, is scary enough, but not so scary that the audience won't relate to the situation he's in. I won't explain that anymore because you need to watch it. But yeah, there's a situation that he's in, and you don't feel a hatred towards it. It's not like when you watch Aliens and you really just want Sigourney Weaver to kill the alien queen. This is completely different. This alien looks scary, but you kind of have that connection in a similar way to the way you had with E.T. when you first watched E.T., which is great. The alien itself moves and looks believable and realistic. I know that sounds stupid to me to say an alien looks believable and realistic, but it does. It is believable. It's realistic. It looks good. The slow build up to actually seeing this alien for the first time builds tension and really works. I think that was a great technique. Obviously, Abrams, being a producer of Cloverfield, knows that you need to build tension for a monster movie. And I'm saying this now, and people are probably going to get annoyed with me about this, but this is better than Cloverfield. And I like Cloverfield. I was a fan of it. But this movie is better than Cloverfield. So you don't agree with me, deal with it. Put something in the comments down there. Yeah, so it's great. CGI was brilliant. Look at the film itself. It's a perfect look and feel of the 1980s, from the sort of clothing, the hairstyles that people have, the cars that they drive, and obviously the way each scene is shot. It's as if he's taken all of those techniques that people were using in the 80s, especially, as I mentioned earlier, Spielberg, and he's brought them into a modern day setting, and it's great. It really does work. It looks and feels like a classic kids film from that like sort of period, so it's brilliant. It proves to me, I don't know if anyone else agrees with me, go and watch it, tell me what you think, that Abrams might be this generation's Spielberg. He's just got an eye for how to shoot something, how to put a story across. He is something special. And you know, I've been wanting for him to do well for quite some time. I think he's a good filmmaker. He's been a good producer. He's been a good director, and this proves he is. You know, he's got the skills. If he's this generation's Spielberg, then this film is this generation's E.T. Just saying. That's how big it is. Overall, it's an excellent movie. Go and see it. You know, you go to cinema, you can't get into the In-Betweeners movie this week, and you're wondering, oh, what am I going to go and see? Go and see Super 8. This is brilliant. It's a 5-star summer blockbuster, and you guys need to see it. Oh, P.S. Credits. The credits, you've got to watch the credits. They're quite long. But the movie that the kids are shooting in this movie, the movie within a movie kind of thing, is shown in the credits. It's called The Case, and it's great. It does look really cheesy, like a kid's movie, but it's really, really well done. Props to Abrams for the Romero Chemicals little nod in that movie within the movie. Obviously mention Romero, George A. Romero. For those of you who don't know who that is, that's what Wikipedia's for. Go and have a look. And also, right at the very end of the credits, one of the greatest songs of all time, in my opinion, plays right after that movie, and that is My Sharona by The Knack. So not only do you get a movie within a movie in the credits, you get to listen to My Sharona, which is a fantastic song. So it's brilliant. Go and see it. 5-star. Can't say anything better more than that, because it's just great. As always, guys, the like button is down there. Go and click because you like this. Subscribe, favourite, throw this on all your social networking sites, send it to all your friends, and I'll be back soon. There's going to be a link there very quickly for anyone who hasn't seen this week's Geek movie news. Click out, go and watch it. There's lots of exciting stuff about sequels to films and stuff. And yeah, as always, au revoir.